In the name of Almighty Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful. As Muhammad, peace be upon him, narrated, if anyone travels on a road in search of knowledge, Almighty Allah will cause him to travel one of the roads of paradise. Hello everyone, this is Dr. Tariq Masood. Thank you very much for watching my videos and your wonderful support to make the channel a grand success. We are a family, a partner. Please share and subscribe our channel if you haven't done so far. We as a team can work together to convert challenges into opportunities and opportunity into success stories. These success stories can be monetized into value addition in the world by large. Thank you very much for your precious time. Okay, today I'm going to discuss challenge for organization model, customer victory, lecture number 3. Okay, before my lecture, I used to read a Quranic verse. Qala Rabbi Shrahli Sadri wa Yassarli Amri Wahlul Uqdatam min lisani Yafqahu Qawli Allahumma Rabbi Zidni Ilma. O my Lord, open my chest and ease my task for me, and loose a knot from my tongue that they may understand my saying. Allahumma Rabbi Zidni Ilma, O Allah, advance me in my knowledge and true understanding. Thank you very much for your precious time. Topics in progress. We have discussed earlier. So, challenge for organizations. Okay, the customer victory, we have started. What is the bureaucracy? Or a theme of the bureaucracy? Change, yes, but change what? Okay, so the change process here. So the first review of reasoning, the frame of reference, first here. The process from substance to problems. And next is the from problem to priority. And the process from priority to levers, implementation, the moment of change. That is the last segments. Okay, so these topics we have planned to discuss. We are still here, customer victory. So next topic, what is the bureaucracy? Okay, challenge for organizations, customer victory, lecture number 3. Customer victory from success product to success customer, which we have already discussed in my earlier lecture. So hazards of segmentations, how not to listen, we're going to discuss now. So next plan, case of British catering, getting off the beaten track, human resources management as an essential counterweight to the customer victory. Okay. So organizations, a key takeaway points, lecture number 3, complicated case study, understand the situation and scope, sidestepping the issue. Okay. Now we are going to first discuss the complicated case study from my next slide. How not to listen, complicated case study, sister companies, deregulations, long-standing. Okay, so how not to listen. To take this a bit further, let's turn to a simple example to understand, which we will then develop with slightly more complicated a case study. For example, a European telecommunication firm which, just like its sister companies, will be facing a deregulation in the near future. This company grew out of the long-standing management traditions of the public sector. So the agent loyalty is not a problem. Their status is secure and clearly defines their rights and obligation, as well as how their cares can evolve and how they are to be remunerated these rights. Okay, linked to seniority and not to be business activity of the company. Recall that monoplastic situations have been particularly a favorite to the developing of the advantages, the cost of which has been externalized on the customer, the user, who at the time could do nothing about it. Okay. In order to match the growing competitions, our company has developed remarkable marketing skills and has conducted an impressive number of customer profile studies. Similarly, it has developed elaborate methods of measuring customer satisfaction, which it does on a regular basis. Okay, the surprising fact is that despite the quality of the company's product, which are as good as any, its customer, especially those who generate the greater amount of business, seem ready to take any chance they can get to head over to the competition. Okay. In its attempt to deal with the paradox, the company has tried offering more and more products and services, targeting the categories of customer which it has identified, feel but seems all the less able to keep a customer from taking their business elsewhere. Okay. Now my next slide, we are going to discuss understand the situation. How not to listen, understand the situation, professional, classifications, special department, particular segments. Okay, to better understand this situation, let's take a look at one of the company customers. Okay, John Doe, a professional, according to a company's own system of classification, the company have identified specific needs for its particular segments of the market, has offered like Mr. Doe services of the special department. Okay, he was informed by mail that his department had opened the process was used as to create a sense of intimacy, which he right away decided to call up. Okay, order to have a fax line installed in his home. John is told by a company representatives, obviously well trained in the customer welcome process, that the company regret that it cannot accept order over the phone. Surprised by the lack of confidence in the very medium which, after all, the company is promoting, he asks how then should be placed an order. He is informed that orders must be placed by mail and cannot help but wonder whether this company is simply trying to generate some business for former co-workers at the post service. In any case, 10 days after mailing his letter, our professional receives a highly personalized reply bearing the name and address of a correspondent on the letterhead. The letter states that the new phone line will be installed, that wide within a window of about 2 hours, so as to avoid any unnecessary delay. Suddenly, faced with the prospect of having to stay home from work, Mr. Doyle is after all a professional. He picks up the phone and asks to speak to his new correspondent. The representative on the line is surprised by the request and informs him that the title correspondent simply referred to the person who entered his file into the computer database after being transferred to another representative. He explained that he cannot possibly wait at home for a fax line to be installed. The representative is sorry about the mix-up, adding that the company could not foresee that he would be away. Surprised that they could not have a simple call to set up an appointment, he is told that of course they had tried to contact him, but that since he was not at home, his course of professional, a time had been at anyway and a letter sent to out. A suggestion that a message could have been left on his answering machine, the employee who incidentally pays no attention to the customer remarks that the answering machine had been purchased through very same agency. Stated that the company does not conduct business in that fashion. Finally, the professional's suggestion that they call in the evening, the representative retorts that the company has not yet resorted to the working after hours. Okay, so then what is the understand the scope? Okay, okay, how not to listen, understand the scope, function of demand, and a wrong problem. What is basically? The organization has in fact addressed the wrong problem, or at a very least has not understand the scope of the problem. Increasingly forced to listen to its customer, the company first react by offering more products. In this respect, which is moreover how the company determines whether or not its customers are satisfied. Okay, the company is doing an outstanding job, but as we will see later on, the product as a function of the demand, its a technical characteristic is decreasingly what differentiate competitors. Competing products are increasingly similar regardless of their apparent sophistications. The differential advantage then resides more in a way the product is produced or the way it is offered. Okay, that is to say in the organizations. Okay, the one which demand develops products, the one which manufacture products, and the one which offer them, and the ability of these three to cooperate. In the case of this company, the products are technically very good and their prices very reasonable. Okay. However, the organization which offered them has in no way to listen to the customer. It is simply entrapped in its own norms and procedures. Okay. In the way it has developed its database, in the routine and red tape, which are a part and parcel of the way it manages public relation and work schedules. Okay. Suddenly, the professional customer has disappeared, and the reason he is gone is that the complexity of his needs were not understood. Okay. The company never dealt secretly with his daily life, including when he goes to work, when he stays home, how his phone is used by his family during the day and for work purposes at night. He was no more than a virtual professional around which no concert organization had been set up either for him or for the other members of the organization. Nor had a pricing policy been established which could take into account how he really uses the telephone. How not to listen. So the sidestepping the issue. So first market, function, and customer stand as a winner. All that had been set up was means of sidestepping the issue. A screen or doque, the words are not too strong, which simply stand in as the symbols of listening. But they are not listening. By dealing with listening as a function, an aspect of marketing in this case, the organization spares itself from taking a good hard look at itself. That is more directly at how appropriate its own modes of functions are for the customer which it intends to serve. This is exactly what it needs to be seen. Listening to the customer, which has become so necessary to inevitable, now the customer stand as the winner conference bureaucrats with a very difficult and disturbing problem. Listening simple cannot be reduced to yet another functions. Okay, the bureaucracy excels at that no more than quality be reduced to a function in the 1980s despite many attempts to do so. Okay, Much more than a function, it is a mode of function organization. Listening is a set of behaviors of arrangement, cooperative efforts. It includes how employees career evolve and through this their status in the company. Their benefits, their privileges. In order to truly listen to the customer, one must begin by taking a closer look at all of these various domains. In many cases, listening can be quite a painful. Okay. Conclusion. Today we discussed a complicated case study, understand the situation, and understood the scope and sidestepping the issue. Okay. So the challenge for organizations. Next topic we were going to discuss the case of British Cattle Company. Okay. So references management challenge for the 21st century. Next Frontier by Edgar. Okay. Citigroup's John Reed. Allison's Grounds, Essence of Decisions, The Bureaucratic Phenomena, and Actor and System by Chicago Press. Okay. Uh, Together, everyone achieve more. Please do not hesitate to send me your feedback and comments t.masood.dear@bath.edu. Thank you very much for your precious time. Thanks and stay blessed.